Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and still continuing our coverage of the Danish Prime Minister's Mette Frederiksen visit, three-day visit to Egypt. And on this topic, we're glad to be joined over the phone by Ambassador Amgad Abdel, former assistant to the Foreign Minister. Good afternoon, Mr. Ambassador.
Good afternoon.
Ambassador Amgad, President Sisi welcomed the Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen, who was on a three-day visit to Egypt, and a press conference was just held. How do you see the significance and the timing of this visit, especially that it coincides? Right, we lost our guest over the phone, and we'll be back with our guest. Right, we're going to go to a short break and we'll be right back.
Egypt opens up to the world. President Abdel al-Sisi meets with world leaders.
أعبر لكم عن خالص الشكر والتقدير على حفاوة الاستقبال وكرم الضيافة.
Reaffirming Egypt's vision, delivering our voice abroad.
لتطوير التعاون الثنائي الاقتصادي والعسكري إلى مستويات غير مسبوقة.
Discussing regional and international developments. Solid and strong relations on the path of partnership and development.
Welcome back, and once again with our guest over the phone, Ambassador Amgad Abdel Ghafar, former assistant to the Foreign Minister. And again, we lost our guest over the phone. And talking more about the current visit of the Danish Prime Minister, President al-Sisi on Monday welcomed the visiting Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen, who is paying a three-day visit to Egypt that coincides with the 65th anniversary of establishing diplomatic relations between the two countries. Addressing a press conference in Cairo, the President expressed keen interest in upgrading relations with Denmark, notably in marine transport, energy and environment.
Hello.
Well, once again with Ambassador Amgad Abdel Ghafar. Mr. Ambassador, the Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen, who is paying a three-day visit to Egypt, this visit coincides with the 65th anniversary of establishing diplomatic relations between Egypt and Denmark. How do you see the significance and the timing of this visit, sir?
It is indeed a very significant visit from the head of the Danish government, and it will be an opportunity to enhance further the relationship, the existing excellent relationship between Egypt and the Denmark in many fields. But it is also important that for the Danish, our Danish partner, to hear and exchange views and to hear our views on the different issues relating to our region, the political files, which I mean whether the Palestinian-Israeli, the Libyan, the Syria, the Iraq, and the security issues, the immigration issues, all of that, and also to hear Egypt's views on the African continent issues, as Egypt is one of the main leading countries in the African continent. On the other side, economically, as we all know, Denmark is a very important European player in this field. It is also a very significant and very effective partner within the EU on which we rely to convey our views on the different political issues. One of them is the human rights issues, the developmental issues. Denmark also is a big donor country, and it has lots of assistance in the development portfolio, one of them in Egypt in the fields of the technology, as you know, and also we need to get the opportunity to enhance the Danish investment in the field of renewable energy, one of the important issues that Egypt is facing today, and we have a big plan within our great developmental plan in the area of infrastructure. All of these issues, there are a big opportunity from the Danish partner to enhance the relationship between Egypt and Denmark.
Right. Well, sir, the Danish Prime Minister visit comes in light of Egypt's foreign relations and its significance. How do you highlight this visit in enhancing Egypt's foreign relations with different countries, not only Denmark, or also other countries around the world?
Of course, I mean, recently and since President Sisi took the presidency, one of our main goals is to diversify our foreign relationship with all the countries. Egypt is one country that is a moderate country in the region. We always keen to have a balanced relationship with all our partners. Denmark is one of our partners within the European continent. The European continent is not only one country, one state or one country or one view. There are many views from which the EU at the end elaborates its own views. So it is important and necessary for Egypt to engage with all the European partners, and Denmark is one of the most effective, the one most important partner, especially within the northern sphere of the EU, on which we rely to convey our point of view and to enhance relationship economically and in trade, technology, energy, and other many fields.
Right. Well, Ambassador Abdel Ghafar, also some topics were discussed at the press conference that was just held a while ago between President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and the Danish Prime Minister, among which was the Ethiopian Renaissance Dam and its impact on water security in Egypt. And also the Danish Prime Minister mentioned the importance of the refugees issue, and especially that they are living in Egypt among Egyptians and not in separate camps. How do you see the significance of these topics discussed at the press conference?
Well, these are two very important issues, not only to Egypt, but also to the Danish side. I mean, the issue of the Ethiopian dam is very important to us, and we will always seize all the opportunities with our partners to present our views. It's our just position, and I think we heard a very confirming point of view from the Danish Prime Minister that it is within the Egypt's interest and the continent's interest and even Ethiopia to reach a peaceful solution that can take into consideration the security, the water, the economic interests from both sides. This is something we can reach, and we already have agreement, and we always abide by our agreement. And I think our international partners, and Denmark is one among them, will always be in conformity with us. The issue of the refugees, it was an opportunity to show to our foreign partners and the Danish partner that Egypt is among the leading countries in the world in respect of the refugees' rights. And we also had we have a great share of the burden of, as you mentioned, that we receive huge numbers of refugees, and we treat them as part of our community or part of our society. We don't alienate them, And in this, we need also some recognitions, and also we need to get part of the international assistance in this regard to be recognized that Egypt is part of this greater system or network of receiving refugees, and we need to enhance the international assistance in this regard, and the Danish side is one of the key players in this.
Right. Ambassador Abdel Ghafar, also among the main topics discussed, of course, was economic and investment cooperation between Egypt and Denmark. How do you see the significance of this kind of cooperation, and especially that a number of agreements will be signed during this visit?
I think this will be at the forefront of the agenda of the Danish Prime Minister, the head of the Danish government to Egypt. And we have seen that the Egyptian Prime Minister was already receiving the Prime Minister, and he was looking forward to discuss all these issues. Denmark has an excellent experience in terms of transportation, in terms of renewable energy, technology, infrastructure, which coincides with the timing when Egypt is already embarking on a huge developmental project in infrastructure and rebuilding the Egyptian infrastructure with all the roads, with all the ports, and a great developmental agenda that we have. And in this, we see a greater opportunity for the Danish side to be part of this developmental agenda in Egypt, and they have a lot to offer. And we are looking forward that they will increase the level of investment. This is something we are also looking forward from our European partner. We have a partnership agreement with the EU, and Denmark is a key player in that field.
Right. Well, sir, the Danish-Egyptian Dialogue Initiative was also launched in 2004. How do you evaluate the power of cultural exchange in cooperation in many areas of common interest between Egypt and Denmark?
I think relationship is very important between Egypt and Denmark. It will represent an opportunity to correct some of the misunderstanding and misconception that sometimes prevail in the Danish media or in some of its society regarding our values, our values as an Arab country, as an Islamic country, an African country. And we seek to have a respect for our mutual culture. And I think in this regard, the visit will represent an opportunity to further enhance the cultural ties between Egypt and Denmark. And I think there can be an opportunity to hold several events and to exchange more of the views and to have the Danish side more open to our experience in this area.
Right. Well, I would like to thank you very much, Ambassador Amgad Abdel Ghafar, former assistant to the foreign minister. Many thanks for your insight, sir. And dear viewers, now we go to a short break and we'll be right back.
Egypt opens up to the world. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi meets with world leaders.
أعبر لكم عن خالص الشكر والتقدير على حفاوة الاستقبال وكرم الضيافة